meet the 10 most lethal animals in the world. Welcome to the much more interesting channel. Now let's meet the 10 most lethal animals in the world, each of which can kill you. So let's go to number 10 on our list. Asian giant hornet. Imagine a farm worker walking past a fallen tree trunk without noticing a hidden beehive. Suddenly, hundreds of flying stingers converge. It sounds less dangerous as an isolated sting, but in a swarm, the scenario turns into panic. People running, bumping into each other, allergic reactions that progress to shock. The danger here is the quantity and speed of the attacker's storm of pain and adrenaline that can knock down a strong man. Number 09. The stonefish, a swim in the sea in a rocky cove. One false step and the surface that looked like rock pierces the foot with hidden spines. The pain is so acute that the victim screams, falls to their knees, blood begins to flow, and the arm becomes numb. The venom causes brutal swelling, shock, and, if there is no help or antidote, failure can set in. And the tide seems to conspire against rescue. Number 08. Armadillo tree spider. You open a closet at night and find it as quick as a thought. The bite brings a mixture of pain, cold sweat, vomiting, and extreme anxiety. In real accounts, victims panic, with rapid breathing and tremors. Some prostrate on the floor while someone tries to call for help. It's an urban scene. Routine interrupted by an encounter that seems straight out of a horror movie. Number 07. The cone snail. A collector touches a beautiful shell among the corals. In a fraction of a second, an invisible harpoon fires. There is no immediate overwhelming pain. Sometimes just a tingling sensation and the false feeling that everything will be fine. Minutes later, neuromuscular functions fail. Slurred speech, weakness, progressive paralysis. Species such as Conus geographus can cause death, and there are records of lethal poisoning by toxins. Number 06. Sydney funnelweb spider. On Australian soil, an adventurer walks along a trail while the spider watches from its tunnel. A seemingly small bite triggers nausea, sweating, and, in a short time, symptoms that make breathing heavy and the situation critical. Part of the terror is the speed. Hours that turn into medical emergencies, distraught families, and ambulances racing against advancing poison. Number 05. Deathstalker scorpion Lyrus quinquestriatus. At night, a child playing in the yard is stung. First pain and crying, then neurological signs, vomiting, and, in the worst case, seizures and pulmonary edema. For vulnerable groups, children and the elderly, the outcome can be dramatic. Even with antivenom, the condition often requires intensive care and a race against time while the family watches helplessly. Number 04. Blue-ringed octopus. A curious diver touches a rock and sees rings glowing like warning lights. Tetrodotoxin acts quickly. Speech becomes slurred, arms weaken, and breathing begins to fail. The horror here is that consciousness is preserved while the body stops obeying, trapped in a shell that refuses to respond. Without ventilatory support, death by asphyxiation is a real possibility. There are reports and studies that point to tetrodotoxin as extremely potent. And now, get ready. We've reached the top 3 most venomous animals on the list. So like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos like this one. Number 03. Inland taipan. In the silence of the outback, an almost unnoticed bite releases a cocktail of toxins that destroy muscles, alter coagulation, and paralyze breathing. The victim may appear fine for minutes. The danger is disillusion until internal bleeding, respiratory failure, and general collapse set in. The taipan is often cited as the most potent venomous land snake, making immediate treatment vital. Number 02. Box jellyfish. A morning at the beach turns into a nightmare when transparent tentacles brush against the skin. That venom can cause such an intense reaction that the heart is affected in seconds. There are reports of sudden cardiac arrest. On the scene, first responders trying to resuscitate someone on the sand, skin marked by gills of pain, and the realization that the sea can hide a silent killer. Australian studies and museums document the severity of cubozoan stings. Number 01. Irukandji jellyfish. Almost invisible, a tiny sting is followed by minutes of increasing and unbearable suffering, intense pain, nausea, extreme hypertension, and that terrible claustrophobic feeling that the body is burning from within. People have been found begging for relief as their cardiovascular system collapses. Irukandji syndrome is famous for turning seconds into an eternity of despair. Research and records highlight this syndrome as one of the most feared in the marine world. And that's it, folks. Remember that many factors such as the amount of venom, the location of the sting, the age and health of the victim, and access to antidotes change everything. If you liked it, like, share, and comment on which animal you found most terrifying.